I made it pretty far, all things considered. Thanks for your applause. Still every time I close the door and another won't open, I get this panic that my life is now on pause. The dark gets cleared, the board's been cleaned, there's nothing left on my screen. The plate is empty, so it seems. Now is the time to ask, okay, what's next? This was fun while it lasted, nothing comes till you ask it. So I'd really like to know what's next. Around the corner, down the street, whatever's meant for me to meet, I'm waiting for it anxiously, so tell me please, what's next? Haunting me and I'd like it to go. See, I could be 103 and still moving slow, full of promise and potential till my eyes finally close. But I got time, got years and years, work to do, but I got fears, and there's a ringing in my ears. So still I gotta ask, okay, what's next? This was fun while it lasted, nothing comes till you ask it. So I'd really like to know what's next. Around the corner, down the street, whatever's meant for me to meet, I'm waiting for it anxiously, so tell me please, what's next?
All right. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. I am your host, Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector. How are you this morning, or this evening, or this afternoon, wherever you're at in the world, because we have a fan base all around the world. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, let's sit back and let's talk about some inspirational stuff this morning. I was sitting in meditation thinking about what it is I was going to talk to you about this morning. And one of the things that came to my mind that I thought was going to be a lot of fun is there's so much going on in our world right now, right? It's almost overwhelming. You turn the TV on, and whether it's politics, pandemics, this war over in Ukraine and Russia, and watching, millions of refugees flee their country and everything they know and they love, and the genocide and the war crimes. It's a lot to take in. Every morning I wake up, I'm like, okay, what's next? And that's why I was playing that song right before the show. The song is literally called What's Next. So what's next? And a lot of times when I find that I'm empathic or I'm sensitive to the things around me, or I'm overwhelmed by the things that are coming through, it's like a tsunami. It's like a wave of emotions. And I guess that's maybe why I'm wearing my wave shirt today. But one of the things that always puts a smile on my face is movies, and getting lost in the magic of movies. That ability to step away for, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. We just watched a show yesterday, one of the Oscar nominated shows. It was almost 3 hours long. Something of the dog. It was very interesting. I never really agree with the Oscars and what their picks are, but it was an interesting show nonetheless. But one of the shows that I can usually go to escape the world through the power of movies. Obviously, for those of you that follow my work, you know that I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I believe in the Force. I believe in just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. I believe that there's, a living world of those that have passed on that are around us if we're open to it. But the other one that I love are Disney movies. And so this morning, I thought I would share with you, let me get my screen pulled up here. I'd share with you some fun Disney movie quotes. And I first want to start off because a lot of you may not know this, but before I started working for the federal government, almost 13, 14 years ago now, I retired from the fire service, had a medical retirement that I couldn't play anymore as a firefighter or EMT. And so I was into a forced retirement, and I actually went to work I dabbled a little bit in the banking industry. Wasn't my thing. The whole corporate cubicle world was not my thing. But I was having a lot of fun. I was doing a thing called competitive intelligence for the bank ends, where you do mystery shopping. It was actually a lot of fun. And then the bank actually collapsed, and I went to work for the Mouse. I went to work for ESPN, Walt Disney, and ABC here in Seattle. A lot of you may not even know that there's a presence of ESPN and Walt Disney. But I was a Walt Disney employee. I had my Walt Disney name tag. I went down to Burbank for the orientation, spent 3 days down at the Burbank studios going through everything. And it was there that I learned about Mr. Disney himself and his determination and his dedication and his drive and his desire to keep going and to create the movies that we know today as Disney movies. Now, I know that there's a lot of, if you watch the news, there's a lot of controversy with, what's going on in Florida and using, really, words in a poor manner, in a negative way. And you've got the governor and Disney going at it. And it's it adds to the chaos in which we're going through today. But a lot of you may know this, a lot of you may not know this. I did not know this, but Walt Disney, he was the founder of the Walt Disney Experience, Walt Disney Land in California, then went on to make Walt Disney World in Florida, and then other places around the world, Japan, there's a couple of Disney's, France. But he was a renowned businessman, but he wasn't always the businessman that we know him today. A news editor actually fired him, stating that he lacked innovation and imagination. So think about that. The guy that brought us the imagination, Imagineers, they're literally called Imagineers. He brought to the world imagination and creativity, and he was fired because he lacked innovation and imagination, and he was turned down more than 300 times before getting aid to start Disney World in Florida. So this morning, I thought just to give you some inspiration and some hope and some motivations and just something to think about. Maybe maybe you need a distraction from life and everything that's going on, because unfortunately things are the temperature's only going to rise. But as the temperature rises, what goes up must come down, just as the sun is coming up and blessing me with its rays and its vitamin D. And what goes up must come down. The sun comes up, the sun goes down. It's a cycle. It's a pattern. As a numerologist, I always observe patterns and trends and different philosophies. So I thought this morning, if you're cool with it, I'm going to share some Disney quotes with you. See if you can guess the movie. I'll give you the movie name, and then about 8:30 we'll go to the. I think I'll call it the Inspirational Cafe today, because I think we just need more inspiration. We need more positivity. We need that positive vibe. We need that energy, right? For those of you that follow my page, Intuitive Prospector, or you're either following the page because you found it here, I always talk about how energy and vibes speak louder than words. And, just like, last week, I wasn't on last week because I had a medical appointment that I had a much needed medical appointment that I've been waiting for to get to. And so it was at the same time as the show, and I didn't have enough energy to come back on last Monday. But good morning to my team that's behind the scenes. I hope you guys are doing well. Cheers to you with some coffee. But last Monday, I was going to talk about the slap heard around the world. And a lot of people thought it was fake. A lot of people thought it was staged. But if you watch the energy, if you watch the vibration, and you don't watch the actual event of what took place with Will Smith and Chris Rock, I knew that it wasn't staged. The body language, the energy of the room, how people were just flabbergasted, like myself. And there were actually people that were debating with me saying, oh, that was scripted. They're actors. Look at the tape on the floor. Actually, one of the guys posted on my page said, no, they look at the tape. They're totally faking. That was scripted. I'm like, no. If it was, then they both deserve an Oscar, because that was very well played if that was the case. But if you just look at the energy and the vibration of the room, the space, the people, the body language, you knew it wasn't staged. You knew it was real, and you felt sad. I felt sad for any time you go to violence. You should never go to violence. But to see Will Smith, the nicest guy in Hollywood, the Prince of Bel-Air, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it was just stunning. And now there's going to be ramifications and things that come out from that, unfortunately, that might torpedo his career and his family's careers. So, but again, accountability, responsibility, civility, we've lost a lot of that in our society. And so it just goes, energy and vibes, I personally believe, speak louder than what a person's words are. And it always takes me back to what Michelangelo talked about, how people say a lot of things, people will do a lot of things that you won't remember, but you'll always remember how people made you feel. And again, that feel is that energy and that vibration of, I can remember when somebody made me feel that way, a certain way. Maybe it was a good way, maybe it was a bad way, maybe it was maybe you're being bullied, maybe you were being cherished. Because again, this world we live in, there's a lot of changing parts. There's a lot of chaos. It just shows you how much we haven't yet evolved and how we still need to go farther. But today, for some Disney movies, I'm going to read you some of the lyrics. And so these are from, classic songs. These are, lyrics to live by, if you will. And it's, Disney's company, they have a simple mission, and it's to entertain, inform, and inspire people around the globe through the power of unparalleled storytelling. Whether you agree with Disney or don't agree, or they're too expensive or they're capitalist, whatever I still go to the main statement. I still go to their mission statement, and it's a mission to entertain, inform, and inspire people from around the globe through the power of unparalleled storytelling. I think that's very, very cool, because we all have a story to tell. A lot of the work I do here on Metaphysical Mocha Mondays is storytelling and sharing my experiences, and whether you agree with them or not, that's part of the journey. But the first one, these are songs that are part of Disney movies. And again, if you've ever seen a Disney movie, I have been moved many times to tears, to just that feel good where your hair stands up just by the power of music, song, notes, how things are put together. As a spiritualist, as a numerologist, we go back to Pythagoras in the building of numerology, which is the cousin to astrology, which is also related to music notes, numbers, notes. So there's a correspondence, there's a dance, a mathematical universal dance of how the universe can speak to us without actually using a voice to speak to us. And songs can be a big part of that. So the first one is from a movie, and the quotes are this: "And the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do to test the limits and break through." So that's the first lyrics for the first song from Disney. Some of you may know it. Go ahead and put it in the comment section if you want, and interact with me on today's show. I won't respond back to you on this show. I will at the cafe. I'll get back to you, and we'll have readings and conversations and philosophy and chats, of course. But go ahead and put your comments in the comment section if you want to play along. These are lyrics to live by. These are Disney songs related to Disney movies, and it's about going to a movie, about listening to songs, to just disengaging from the chaotic world that we find ourselves in. I'm not surprised by the events that have taken place up to this point. I've been talking about this. If you follow my work here on the Intuitive Prospector page, or marklainhart.com, or you're one of my Patreon prospectors, or follow my podcast, Inspired Living, you can go back and listen to what I've talked about, and I've predicted, forecasted, and podcasted all the stuff that's going on in our roaring 20s, the age of transformation, the age of Aquarius that led us into our roaring 20s, starting off with this, obviously a political upheaval that's changing democracy, the pandemic, and now this war. There's more to come, just FYI. But you can go back and check those past shows, or follow me on my YouTube channel, because I've been talking about it for almost 3 years now. So I'm not surprised by what's going on. So it now becomes, okay, how do I navigate through all that's going on? Because I can't change what's going on around me, right? It's a serenity prayer. Yeah, grant me the patience to accept the things I cannot change, the courage, the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's what my platforms are used for on social media today, platforms of positivity. If anybody knows a way to get my Facebook page verified, please let me know. I've been trying with Facebook to get the page verified so we don't get hacks and trolls and bots and fake accounts and having to deal with that BS. I've sent them for the last almost year now, every 30 days, send them, I've got almost 37,000 followers on the page, can we get verified? But for some reason, maybe my work is too woo-woo or spooky for them. I don't know. It's just an interesting journey based on social media. But I really do try to use, whether I'm here on Facebook, TikTok Live, YouTube, Clubhouse, Learn It Live, Wisdom. I'm on a bunch of different apps, just trying to, have discussions. Spiritually Speaking is one. Spiritual Takeout is another that I do. But it's really about using the platforms for positivity. So today we're talking about lyrics to live by, 12 Disney songs to live by to help you escape this chaotic world that we're living in. And the first one, again, I'll read it to you. And the fears that once controlled me cannot get me at all. It's time to see what I can do to test the limits and break through. So if you know the movie, it was from the movie Frozen. The song is called Let It Go. Made millions and millions of dollars. Was on the record, on the charts for months. Very, very inspiring song. So again, if you've been binge watching like I have, whether it's Netflix or there's a lot of good episodes, there's a lot of good series on. We just finished Reacher on Prime. We have Prime, we have Netflix, we have our cable channels. What else did we finish? Paramount Plus. I'm a big Star Trek guy. HBO Max. There's just all these different channels and all these different shows. So we've been kind of just watching shows because it's really hard to turn on the media anymore. Every time you can turn it on, whether you're watching the cable channels or the local channels, it's just nothing positive, nothing inspiring. People are killing one another. There was a shooting in Sacramento. So, just my heart goes out and my thoughts go out to those people involved in Sacramento and the shooting there. And it just always seems like there's just something negative. So it's up to us to find the positive and find the good in the day. Because if we find the negative, if we look for it, you'll find it. And then it's easy to live there and marinate in that stuff. And I really try not to do that for my own mental health, my spiritual pathways, and the work that I do. So the next song tied to our special today, talking about lyrics to live by, 12 Disney songs that will inspire you, maybe get you out of your funk, get you to maybe turn off life disconnect so you can reconnect. Bittersweet and strange, finding you can change, learning you were wrong. What song would that be? Bittersweet and strange, finding you can change, learning you were wrong. Pretty powerful lyrics to say, finding you can change. And I found that's the only thing consistent in life is change. But learning you were wrong, to admit that you're wrong. People, I always say, somebody that claims to know it all knows nothing at all. You can go back to some of Rumi's quotes talking about, people that claim to be so smart, but yet actually are pretty ignorant. But that is from the movie. Go ahead and put your comments in if you want, if you're playing along. So I see we got some comments coming in. I'm not really checking the comments right now. But team, if you want to respond, if you're on, if my team is on, if you want to respond or play along, please do so. Bittersweet and strange, finding you can change. What? He said the change word. He said the C word, change. Yeah, we should all be changing. We should all be evolving. We should all be transforming. If you're not, I'm under the adage of once growth stops, decay begins. So I'm always learning. I'm always challenging myself. And I always embrace failure. First attempt in learning. Fail often, fail daily, and be comfortable with that failure. So that comes from the movie Beauty and the Beast. A tale as old as time. A tale as old as time. Beauty and the Beast. All right, now this one should be pretty easy for those of you following along here on Mocha Monday over a nice cup of coffee or a nice cup of tea, wherever you're at, whatever time frame you're in. This is pretty classic. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. When you wish upon a star. What movie is that from? So go ahead and put your comments in. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Can we not use that title for today's world? We're all humans. We all have the same heart, the same blood, but we look different. We all have different outer shells. We all have different beliefs, different perceptions, different religions, different sexual orientations. But it should make no difference who you are, because we're one planet, we're one people. Eventually, we'll get there. We'll get to what I call the great coming together. But usually, transformation is preceded by great chaos. Deepak Chopra talks about that. And to have global transformation. It's got to be events that impact the world. So everybody is thinking about it, impacted on it, and wants to make a change. So that comes from the movie Pinocchio. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. That's actually the name of the song, When You Wish Upon a Star, from the movie Pinocchio. Next one. When there's a smile in your heart, there's no better time to start. When there's a smile in your heart, there's no better time to start. Go ahead and put your answer down below. Today we're talking about lyrics that can change your life, lyrics to live by. So again, when you need reminders, mantras, prayer, meditation, music can be very inspirational to the journey. It can be very transformative. It can be very healing. So the next song, when there's a smile in your heart, there's no better time to start smart. So go ahead and put a smile in your heart, even with all the crap and the shit that's going on today around the world, things that you don't agree with, things that you can't control. But what you can do is you can choose how you respond. That's your greatest power, everyone. My friends, I always talk about, it's your greatest power is how you respond to the situation. So if you can put a smile in your heart, then there's no better time to start. And that's from the song You Can Fly, and the movie is Peter Pan. So when there's a smile in your heart, there's no better time to start. All right, next song. This one's kind of difficult, but you may get it. Some of you may get it. I know we're different, but deep inside us, we're not that different at all. I know we're different, but deep inside us, we're not that different at all. Just what I was just talking about. We have the same eyes. We have the same organs. We have the same heart. We have the same blood. We have the same DNA. But as I always remember what Mary Poppins would talk about. The cover is not the book. And this song, I'll give you a hint. The song is called "You'll Be in My Heart." And I know we're different, but deep inside us, we're not that different at all. So go ahead and put your comments in, what movie you think it's from. Interact, have fun with this morning. A little bit of Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, just to get the day started, get the week started. All right. So the movie is Tarzan. So I know we're different, but deep inside us, we're not that different at all. You'll Be in My Heart, from the movie Tarzan. All right. Next up, another tough one. Some of you may get this. If you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew you never knew. If you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew you never knew. So that's from a movie. I really like this movie. Go ahead and put your answer in if you're playing along. Give it a second here. All right. Lock in your answers. Be like Jeopardy, you have to put it in the form of a question. What is? So this actually is from the movie Pocahontas, Colors of the Wind. And that was a really popular song when it came out. It really vibrated and resonated, just like movies, music resonate with society and consciousness. Yesterday when I was watching the Grammys, John Baptiste had won, and he talked about that all the artists are great, and that he got Record of the Year, or Album of the Year, or Song of the Year, one of those. And he talked about that every musician that's been recognized for a Grammy is doing wonderful work, but it's just that package of music, those notes, those vibrations, that energy that's put together that vibrates with its audience at a certain point in time is a reflection of our society and consciousness. And then people buy it. And that's, when people buy something, they're inspired by it, they believe in it. And then that's where you get record or album or song of the year. And he was very humble, it was a very inspirational speech to watch this young gentleman win his first Grammy. So that was really cool. So Colors of the Wind, Pocahontas. The next one is, I'll see if some of you get this. I remember Daddy told me fairy tales can come true. You got to make them happen. It all depends on you. I remember Daddy told me fairy tales can come true. You got to make them happen. It all depends on you, end quote. So that's from a Disney movie. It's a song. We're talking about lyrics that to live by, to help you on your journey. Each Disney movie has a reference at some point. One of the movies that I love that's not in this list, unfortunately, let me just double check. Yeah, it's not on this list that I'm going through, but it's Coco. I love the music of Coco. I love the message because it talks about the Day of the Dead, mediumship, remembering those that have crossed over. If you've not seen Coco as a spiritist, as a medium, highly recommend it. Very, very well done. There's a lot of Disney movies I love. I go to Disney. Like I said, I used to work for the Mouse. I have to get my name tag because it's at work. My name tag's at work at my office down in Seattle. But that lightsaber in the middle right there, I built that at Disney World, my own lightsaber. And again, it's a way to get lost. So if you can't go to Disney World or Disneyland, then get lost in the movies or the music. And if you don't like those, if you're not a Disney fan, I get it. That's the world that we live in. Everybody has a different opinion now. But find something. The message today is find something that moves you, motivates you, encourages you, transforms you, heals you, etc., etc. So I remember Daddy told me, quote, fairy tales can come true. You got to make them happen. It all depends on you, end quote. Got to believe in some of the magic with the K, not a magic with a C. We're not pulling rabbits out of hats. We're believing in the magic, our energy, our vibration, our frequency, our souls, our life and death, what happens after we die, all of that good journey, or what I call soul adventures. So this comes from The Princess and the Frog. The song is called Almost There, from The Princess and the Frog. Next movie, I'm on my way. I can go the distance. I don't care how far. Someone, I'll be strong. Or wait, somehow. Sorry, let me reread that. I am on my way. I can go the distance. I don't care how far. Somehow, I'll be strong. So that should give you give you a little bit of a clue. Strong, the movie, but it's a great reminder. I'm on my way. I can go the distance. I don't care how far. Somehow I'll be strong. Where there's a will, there's a way. I find that people become very good survivors when they've gone through traumas and tragedies and situations and experiences and growing pains. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So the movie is called I Can Go the Distance, and the movie is Hercules. So just a few more here, and then we'll wrap up and get ready for the cafe. This should be, a lot of you should get this. This is a song that's been around for years. It says, no matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. So if your heart is grieving, and I work with a lot of grieving clients and people that have lost folks, myself included, it's the journey of grief is how you honor your grief through the power of mourning, how you live your life after somebody has passed. So no matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, you will see them again. It is not the end. It is not goodbye. It's just until I see you down the road. The dream that you wish will come true. So that's from the amazing movie of Cinderella. A dream is a wish your heart makes. A dream is a wish your heart makes. All right. Next up, songs and lyrics to live by to help you on your journey this week. No, I won't leave. I want to try everything. I want to try even though I could fail. The failure word. First attempt in learning. No, I won't leave. I want to try everything. I want to try even though I could fail. So that's a song. That's a Disney movie. It's a great movie, actually, and it's a great message. It's about, get knocked down 7, stand up 8. Try everything. You're here to experience life, good, bad, happy, sad, joyful, painful, everything in between. That's the soul adventure. It's about how you keep going or not go. It's about your determination, your mindset, how you respond to things. So no, I won't leave. I want to try everything. I want to try even though I could fail. And that's from the movie Zootopia. Try everything. So the name of the song is called Try Everything. So that's from the movie Zootopia. 2 more to go, and then we'll finish up. We're a little bit over. I got a few minutes late start. But if my team is ready to go for the cafe, we'll go right into it after I get off here. Again, if you want to follow my work, you can visit me at marclainhart.com. You can internet search Intuitive Prospector. I'd say go to my website. That's your best to get my newsletters, to get my latest articles, to book a reading, to check out events that are up and coming. What else? The one event that's coming up in May is already sold out, but there are tickets available for Saturday night's demonstration with Paul Jacobs. I just talked to him this morning. He's booked his flight. He's coming. 2 years in the making after this pandemic, so I'm very excited to have him come to the Pacific Northwest for the first time. What else? Radio show, my podcast, Inspired Living. If you want to check those out, you can catch that on your favorite podcasting platform, whatever that may be now. We weren't on the air last week because our guest wasn't able to come through. So we have new guests coming up, some new shows in April. It is April. So yeah, it's April. Geez, that means it's my birthday month, y'all. So I'm going to be celebrating the big 5-0 this month. So I'll be doing some charity events to donate. Not really looking for gifts. If you want to be a star sender for my birthday, fantastic. But I will be on my sites, be putting up, going to be donating to one place that I, where's their card here? I usually have it. Maybe. All right, so Suicide Prevention Lifeline. They usually have it right here. Must have had legs and walked. St. Jude's Hospital, the Red Cross, American Heart Association. I usually, each week, I'm going to try to do a donation, set up a donation page just to pay it forward. I don't need, I have a lot of blessings. I don't need stuff. But I'm going to be doing donations for Suicide Prevention Hotline, St. Jude's Hospital, Red Cross, which is also affiliated, something to do with Ukraine, probably the Multiple Sclerosis Society, the Cancer Society. So I usually pick a couple different ones, but I'm going to be celebrating my birthday month. Yeah, so marklainhart.com is if you want to get on any links or YouTube or anything that I'm doing. But let's wrap up. We've got 2 more to go. Today we're talking about just disconnecting from life and the chaos and the media and the social media and the ranting and the raving and the kind of just the crazy chaos that's out there, and tuning into songs related to Disney movies, because again, Disney, I agree with their mission statement, and their mission statement is simple. It's to entertain, inform, and inspire people around the globe through the power of unparalleled storytelling. And so I'm sure you've seen a Disney movie that pulled at your heartstrings, or it's connected to you some way, somehow, because they have a whole library of 60 plus years. So the last 2 songs, once you find your center, you are sure to win. Once you find your center, you are sure to win. So it's about knowing thyself, finding your center. What is your center? That's from a movie. It's an older movie. It's a great movie. They actually, I'll give you a clue, they just turned the cartoon into a live action movie. And it's once you find your center, you are sure to win. So I hope that you're finding your center. I know that I'm trying to find my center this morning through some coffee. But the name of the song is called I'll Make a Man Out of You. So that might give you a clue. I'll Make a Man Out of You. And the movie is Mulan. Once you find your center, you are sure to win. The last song for today's episode of Mocha Mondays is from a great book. It's It's from a older movie that's been around. It is a great book, actually. And it's a simple message, and it says this, and most of you will get this because if you're my age, you grew up with this. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. Look for the bare necessities. So most of you should have got that. That's a very famous song, but it's a great reminder to wrap up today's show. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. That's from the Jungle Book. So it's all about bare necessities, but just some lyrics to maybe help you through today. They're tied to Disney movies. Don't listen to the pundits and the critics and people that tell you you're not worthy, or you're not smart enough, or you're not good looking enough, or you don't have the right image. Go after your dreams. Follow your own path. Ask, believe, receive, perceive is what I teach on. And my mantra is believe it, see it, achieve it. That's what I go by with everything. And trust me, I get a lot of opinions and a lot of people, a lot of negativity, but you got to fight through that. You got to, I always go back to Winston Churchill when he talked about, during World War II, when things were really crazy and hectic. Imagine if you had social media during World War II, outcome would have been completely different because of the information, the misinformation, the disinformation, a lot of what we see right now as we move towards a bigger escalation, unfortunately. But Winston Churchill talked about if you stop to listen to every barking dog along the way, you'll never get to where you're going. And that's always stuck with me. So to get to where you're going, don't stop and listen to the barking dogs. Pet the dogs along the way, for sure. Be kind, be caring, be compassionate, but don't stop to listen to every barking dog, because then you're just holding up your journey, and keep moving forward. It's very similar to what I posted on my Prospector page, and I'll just give that to you, where I talked about, was it on my Prospector page, or maybe it was, oh, here we go. So just to finish up, everyone loves the honest person until the honest person strikes a chord with truth. Then they weren't ready to, with the truth, they weren't ready to receive. Always stand for what is right, even if you're standing alone. You can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. And my philosophy for how I work and my shows I do, and the opinions and judgments that come with what I do, it's the same as Anthony Hopkins, who I admire, great actor. And he talked about this quote: my philosophy is, it's none of my business what people say of me and think of me. I am what I am. I do what I do. I expect nothing and accept everything. And it makes life so much easier. So that's my philosophy. That's how I roll. That's the work I do. I am who I am. I can't change me. I don't want to change me. I'm just trying to be the best version of me. Be the best version of you today. Try some of those Disney songs. Try some of those Disney movies. If you're having a rough go with life, or you've gone through great transformation because of this pandemic, or your job has changed, or your family dynamics, or your relationships have changed. It's part of the life. It's part of the journey. It's part of the soul adventure. It's about how you respond and how you keep going forward. So I hope that you'll keep going forward. I hope that helped today. Again, if you go back to what I said in the very beginning about Walt Disney, that he was actually fired because he lacked innovation and imagination, and he was turned down over 300 times to get funding for Walt Disney World. So if you're dedicated and you're driven and you have that desire, you'll go to many, many places and find the joy in good in life. So I'm going to leave it there. We'll get ready for the Inspirational Cafe. We'll go right into it. So if my team is ready, I'll just log out of Zoom here and log back in. I'm going to take us for some real life, close us out with that. But I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thanks for tuning in for today's quick Monday inspiration on Mocha Mondays. Again, my name is Marc Lainhart. If you want to work with me or learn more about my education, my background, my storytelling, you can go to marclainhart.com and get to any place you need to go from there. So thanks for hanging out. Enjoy your rest of your day and a cup of coffee. Happy spring to you. And I will see you next week. Mocha Mondays here on the Intuitive Prospector page, starting at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's usually when you're trying to get started. I was a little late today because of technology. It's always technology. I'm a one-man show. I need help. I need a producer. So have a great rest of your day, everybody. Until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. Most importantly, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and discover that diamond within. I'll see you next week. Cheers.
One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you.
Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart. The Intuitive Prospector is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.